and we're looking at the game week 31. We're just gonna go game by game, right, guys? Like always.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and we're actually also adding some, should we say, player picks for each position. Let's try that one out, and then some captaincy choices. First off, we have Bournemouth, Newcastle. So it's the 12th versus 13th. Bournemouth's home form is pretty good. Newcastle are winless in their last 6 away. 3 of the last 4 games between the sides has seen both teams to score. So I'm edging towards Bournemouth to win and both teams to score. I'm looking at bringing Wilson in. Fraser was good last game, so he's an option too. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking right spontaneously. Any more opinions?
Well, it's always worth mentioning that both Lascelles and Char is not playing in this match.
Yeah.
Which is a big... You should go for Bournemouth players thing, I feel like, at least.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Anyone who thinks anything else?
No, I was gonna talk about King over Wilson as like a differential and a price target, but I actually saw that Wilson's less than King right now by 0.1. So I get King's risen obviously through Wilson's injured phase. Either of those two are great, I think, for this fixture. Like we've said that King manages to always do the business at home, so it could be a game for him. I actually like Bournemouth's defence, but as you said, the stats are against me. But I don't know, I quite like a Bournemouth defender as a differential as well for this game.
Which one?
Daniels, obviously Daniels. It's got to be Daniels. He's cheap. He's the captain, and then watch him not play. I took a -4 to bring him in, so.
Okay. Oh, so you would actually consider bringing in Daniels for this week then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think the thing you got to think about as well is we're also looking at 30. I know we're not today, but you got to look at 33 as well, which is like, for a lot of people are playing free hit 32. You're kind of looking at the home Burnley as well as home Newcastle. I mean, that's that. I've taken a hit to get on Wilson this week, just because I think over those 2 games he's going to return. He's going to score at least. If he doesn't score once in those 2 games, I'll be absolutely stunned. So I think with the combination of those 2 fixtures, both at home, we know how much better Bournemouth are at home than away. I think that's a no-brainer to get Bournemouth asset at their prices.
Yeah.
Cool. Next game, Burnley v Leicester. So Burnley had some good form up until recently, so they've lost 3 in a row, but one was against Liverpool where they scored twice. They have been pretty good at home, only losing 2 of the last 7, so not too bad. Leicester have only won 2 of their last away games. I forgot to write. I think it was 2 out of their 7 last away games. So they're not in very good away form, and so usually I would back Leicester because of new manager and Vardy's looking good. But looking at Leicester's away form and Burnley's home form, I wouldn't say it's that clear. So also both teams have been pretty leaky. So I expect like a 1-1 or both teams to score. Should be pretty close. And so Burnley assets, I'm thinking of Barnes, basically. The cheapest one, really, who is performing. Also, we discussed McNeil last time. I have good feelings about him, and he always looks good. So since they're at home, I don't mind Burnley players. Reasonable fixtures coming up too. But of course, Leicester has even better fixtures. So the question really is, will they perform away? Because they are facing quite, bottom table teams or middle bracket, but the away form isn't great. So what do we think?
Is this Rod? Is this Rodgers' first game in charge of them? Oh no, away from home.
He managed at Watford. They lost 2-1.
Yeah.
I think he was in charge of that game.
He was in charge of that game. Okay, so I suppose this is like his second run at an away game, so we'll see how they play. I've been liking watching them on Match of the Day. Admittedly, I haven't seen their whole games, but I like the way they're playing a little bit more free flowing, attacking football. I can see that Yogi. I can see that the tip of Yogi's mouth is about to produce the T word, and I think that Rodgers has instantly Rodgers instantly recognised that Tielemans is a phenomenal player. And I'm not going to take it away from Yogi. I'm sure Yogi will want to say a little bit something about him again, but Vardy would probably be the obvious choice. There are, I agree with you, Oscar, that Leicester always seem to have a game where there's more than one goal, and Burnley are at home. But I mean, I've got Pereira. I'm not expecting a clean sheet. I'd hope that maybe he'd bag an assist. I wouldn't really think about Leicester defensive assets if you don't have any. Vardy would probably be my biggest shout without taking the shine away from Yogi's boy.
Well,
I guess all I can say in this is this game seems more like a case of you need attackers rather than defenders.
Yeah.
I would say. I wouldn't think of bringing defenders from any of the teams, actually.
Yeah. Also, we have to keep in mind that some people are taking a free hit this game week. It's totally reasonable to do so if you have like 5 players or something playing, and then you double your players playing, and then we have to like come up with some advice too about the defenders. So just try to keep that in mind, I guess. And for Leicester players, I think Pereira in this fixture, I can only see Pereira as an option for a free hit team. If you're looking at defenders. So not too keen on Burnley defenders. Is McNeil rated as a defender? No?
No, he's
midfielder, yeah. So
maybe Maguire.
Yeah.
He has a big head.
He does have a big
He's really good. But if you look at the FPL points, it's not like overwhelming.
No, it's not overwhelming, but it might come a set piece, might come across, and he's flying up in there with his big head, knocking the ball in.
Yeah, it happens for sure.
Yeah.
Any more to discuss about this?
I mean, I think this is going to be a bit of a trap, to be honest. I think a lot of people who are on free hit will see Burnley as one of the easier fixtures. Maybe it is, but I think if Leicester could score 1, maybe 2, I really don't think they're going to go and score a load of goals. The reason I'm happy having Vardy and Pereira is because I know that in 2 weeks' time they're at Huddersfield. So I kind of feel like anything big out of this game for me is a bonus. You said, Yogi, Oscar, you said about bringing in defenders for this if you're on a free hit. I wouldn't do it probably. I would probably I'd be on a Liverpool defender, probably looking at West Ham and maybe Chelsea or Bournemouth before I was looking at Leicester away at Burnley. I've got Pereira, but I think, as Mitch said, I'm not expecting big things from him. If he gets an assist, great. It could be a gritty 1 or 2-1 either way. I might be wrong. It might be 5-0, but I think it's going to be a tight one. Burnley is still fighting, and if you look at their fixtures to the end of the season, they've got a lot of tough games. So this is one they could really do with points from.
I don't know what you guys will think as well, but I feel like of the 5 fixtures this game week, this is definitely the hardest one to call, right? I mean, I kind of think that Bournemouth Newcastle, we're assuming that it's going to be a Bournemouth win, although they may concede. I'm obviously really hoping that West Ham win. Liverpool probably is a given, and I really hope that Chelsea pull it out the bag as well, because as we said previously, Marco Silva's Everton are absolutely exhausted. So I reckon this is probably the hardest game of game week to call.
Yeah,
I think so. Next game we have West Ham. So again, a team with good home form, and also found a funny stat: Huddersfield hate coming to London, having only scored 1 and conceded 17 in their 7 trips to London.
I think I've heard something about that as well. I think they have the worst record in London of all teams.
So West Ham should really win here, and also Huddersfield hasn't scored in their last 5 away games, so could be time for Fabianski to shine. So also Rice, we talked about West Ham assets mostly in a free hit team. So defensively, I think they could be good, and offensively, there's a lot of uncertainties really. Who is going to play between Arnautovic and Chicharito? There's uncertainties in the midfield as well. Felipe Anderson was taken out in half-time basically last game and hasn't shown great form. And Lanzini is coming back in, so there's a lot to worry about concerning the attacking assets, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
Quite of a hot mess.
it is a mess. It's a mess right now. It's a big mess. I mean, as a fan, I can't see anything, and with the stats as well, I can't see anything but a West Ham win. I'd love for us to keep a clean sheet. I'm going to be really, really frustrated if Pellegrini puts Chicharito up front, considering his last 2 performances. Even though we won against Newcastle, he did absolutely nothing, and then the game against Cardiff as well. I mean, that dive was just absolutely disgraceful. I mean, he should have, in my opinion, got a red card and sent off for that dive because it's absolutely pathetic. You can't be doing that in the Premier League. And I can't wait for VAR to be there next year if he's still there because it'll just go. I actually back Arnie to start this game. I know we're going to go on to picks and captaincies there, so I'll save it for them. But Felipe Anderson is going out of my squad. But this would hopefully be a last hurrah for him to get some points for me, and I do see him potentially getting in some points. But again, the uncertainty of him and Lanzini and Nasri and Snodgrass and Antonio all having the capability to fill up in each position those front 3 right behind hopefully Arnie makes it really, really difficult, particularly as he got taken off at half time.
I think if I was free hitting this week, I would probably do the double on West Ham's defence and maybe get Arnautovic or maybe probably not a midfielder. It's like you say, there's so many people to fit into those roles. Yeah. I don't know who you'd look at in the last few weeks and say has been a real standout player. There's no one I've really that's like I think it's been amazing. Probably Antonio, maybe.
He got benched.
Yeah.
Like, it just makes absolutely no sense. I was reading an article today. I'm glad you brought that out because he's been amazing, and then he just gets benched like randomly because our best player before Anderson came in, Lanzini, came back to full fitness, and he does love Snodgrass, and I give it to Snodgrass. He puts his heart and soul into the pitch, even though he's really stretching at playing in the Premier League. But I'd like to see Lanzini in the middle, Anderson on the left, and Antonio on the right with Arnie up front. Let's get the 3 A's in and the L. That would be my ideal. But I think one other player as well, and I'm glad, Oscar, you mentioned him, didn't you? I think Declan Rice is someone that has shot up in price recently. People are recognising that obviously he's not only probably our standout player at the moment, but he's also turning into a little bit of a Kante. He's getting really confident playing on the pitch. He's moving forward when he knows that he has the ability to then track back. And he's getting his shots on as well. I think only one of 3 shots we had on target against Cardiff was him smashing it in, and it just went off the post. I don't know if that's actually on target, but
no. But still, he was their best player. He had, as you said, he had one in the woodwork. I think, from what I've seen, he has been their best players in a lot of their recent 5 games or something. So he's a little bit like Ward-Prowse, not in the set pieces regard, but he's like this machine who gets the team going, and he can do stuff in FPL as well, being cheap and stuff. And he's rated as a defender.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the interesting part. So you love a midfielder who's classed as a defender.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk more about FPL assets, but let's go through the games first. So it's the Fulham versus Liverpool one. So second bottom versus second top. Fulham has scored in 5 of their last 6 home games. So it's their defense that are ruining it for them. and they are facing the best defense in the league with Liverpool.
They're facing the best defender in the league.
In the world, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in the world.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And Liverpool actually has drawn 3 of their last away games in the Premier League. And also an interesting one is Mane has 8 goals in his last 8 league games.
Yeah, and he's just scored 2 in the Champions League as well. I mean, the man is on absolute fire right now.
Sick form. So Fulham scores usually at home, but they are facing Liverpool. So if you're looking at a free hit or anyway, Liverpool defenders are probably the best pick for this game week, but it's not like the dream because Fulham usually scores at home. Seems like Yogi's computer crashed. Yeah, what do you say about this fixture?
I mean, I'm really disappointed as a Salah owner. Really disappointed, and if any game there is for him to actually score more than a goal in a game, and prove that he is still Salah, this would be it against the worst defense in the Premier League. And the only other thing that I have to say about it is that I know that a lot of people free hitting are probably going to be looking at doubling up on Liverpool defence. I'm not free hitting, nor do I have 2 defenders. But I don't know what you guys think, but I actually would refrain. They're going to be tired from the Champions League. They have injuries left, right, and centre in defence. And it would be risky putting in 2 defenders because, they might score 4 or 5 goals against Fulham, which they very well might do. Hopefully a Salah hat-trick. But if they concede 1, that's 2 defenders that you've got that all of a sudden go from getting 12 points to getting 4 points. So minimum, I suppose. Anyway.
It's a ceiling thing for me, I think. Like, I know their defenders do get assists and goals, but realistically, if you're thinking about what you think the score of this game is going to be, you're probably pitching Liverpool at a minimum 3 goals, right? And yeah, even if they keep a clean sheet, are they going to contribute enough in the way of assists and goals to cover? You've got to think Salah and Mane. I don't know what, they haven't checked the odds, but they must be odds on to score at least a goal. And then they're starting from a baseline of 7, whereas if clean sheet, you're only starting from a baseline of 6. I think they could go mad. I know they've just had Champions League. I'm not going to worry about rotation or anything like that because I think they need to win every single game. It's still the Premier League. They need to win. So I think it should be a case of how many. There's also, let's not forget, there's a difference in goal difference at the moment. City are maybe 5 or 6 goals ahead. And, we know that it has come down to the last day before on goal difference that has decided the Premier League. So the games where they can go and hit a load of goals, they're going to try and do it. They've got internationals after this. A complete break. They're going to go for it.
Yeah. He returns.
Ooh.
Let's talk about triple captaining Salah.
Oh, bye.
No, but we just discussed Fulham Liverpool. So last game of the game week, and the Europa League game is on right now. So I'm not sure what the score is. Is it done?
5-0, I think.
5-0. Or no 5.
No injuries.
Nothing.
No, cool. So anyway, Everton, Chelsea. Neither of the teams have great form. Chelsea are favorites, but I don't see I haven't felt Chelsea win one comfortable game in a very, very long time. Maybe that Huddersfield game, and maybe another game that I'm not coming up with right now. But I'm watching most Chelsea games, and they struggle in the offense. And Everton, I think, seem to perform quite good against the bigger teams sometimes. Obviously, the Liverpool, both of those fixtures, and they are at home, so I could see a draw here. Obviously, also Everton's offense is not that good, but at the same time, Chelsea are worse away. If Chelsea would be at home, I would totally back their defense, but I think people are overlooking Chelsea defenders for this free hit stuff. I haven't seen anyone consider David Luiz, for example. So could be a shout. Anyone else who wants to dive into this game?
Well, I think David Luiz is a pretty good shout.
Yeah.
Of course, I read some interesting stats. I'll find it there. David Luiz. He has a ridiculous outlayer for playing passes that break the last line of defense. So only Messi and Neymar play more of these passes than David Luiz in all positions.
He's a total beast.
That's an impressive stat.
That's actually rather wild. And because he can make people like N'Golo Kanté score with an amazing pass. And Kanté can't really shoot that good. He's that good of a finisher. So.
And then it's obviously the usual suspects for Chelsea, like Higuain and Hazard, but no.
Higuain has actually, he's been flagged because he was suffering from illness today.
Yeah. Right.
But Hazard was resting, and if you really want to be cheeky, Pedro was sitting on the bench today. He hasn't played a single minute. So that might be an interesting one. Yeah, and of course, you can bring in Emerson if you want, because he's going to play probably as well.
Yeah.
But Pedro might be a good little shout.
You think Emerson has taken the first place now?
Yeah, given that Alonso played the entire match now, I will say yes.
Yeah, okay. Good. So let's go to the assets. So we have chosen this time one in each position. Even goalies, right? Have you prepared that? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say, Fabianski. I think he has an even better fixture than Liverpool just because Huddersfield away. So I'm going to go with Fabianski with Alisson a close second. Sam, who do you think is the best goalie for this game?
Yeah, sorry to be an echo, but I think Fabianski as well. There's nothing more to say about it. Like I said earlier, I'm not very much interested in West Ham's attacking assets. You can only have so many players, so I like Fabianski. If I was going to go a little bit more left field, if you want to fill your team up a bit more with high-value players, Arthur Boruc perhaps, 4 million, I think, or 4-1. Still a decent fixture, but Fabianski for me.
Yeah. Yogi?
Yeah, it might be the same echo as you guys. Fabianski and Alisson is pretty much, I feel it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, okay. Mitch, you agree?
I'm going to make it a full house. Yeah. Fabianski.
4 of a kind.
In between the posts. 4 of a kind, boys. Fabianski between the posts and Alisson if you fancy him instead.
Cool. That's the first time we do this segment and everyone agrees. Let's see about the defender. So let's do it reverse order. Mitch?
Defenders for me. I'm sticking to my boy. I'm sticking to my guns. He did bits for me last season, and Charlie Daniels is back. He's fighting, and I think as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think doesn't Shah play on the right hand side of Newcastle's defence?
But Shah's not playing.
But Shah's not playing, and Charlie Daniels plays on the left for Bournemouth, and he does like to move forward. He does like the big boy does like to move forward. So at 4.1. I'm going to go for Charlie Daniels this week.
Yeah, I have to say, by the way, that Mitch probably has been the best in this season, calling out good defender options. You were on McNeil, who wasn't rated as a defender, but anyway, you were on Cher. You were first with Cher. And I think
Robinson from game week 1, even though that was a little bit of an obvious one.
And you was one of the first people who brought out Alonso when you didn't like him.
Yep.
I think it's a good thing to trust Mitch with these decisions. Yogi?
I'm going to go for the Flying Dutchman.
The VVD? No?
The VVD, the Flying Dutchman, the bearded, long-haired beast.
Who apparently smells fantastic as well.
I read that. Yeah. I heard that. The good-smelling Flying Dutchman.
The hair wax.
Yeah. doesn't know what hair wax is. He has too much hair.
Sam?
But I'm going for Van Dijk.
Yeah.
I feel this is going to be a shutdown of Fulham. They don't have the attackers in the likes of Lewandowski, and Lewandowski only got one good chance yesterday. So, and how is Mitrovic going to go past this beast of Dutchman?
Cool. Sam, who do you?
Yeah, I'm going a similar vein, just to try and shave a bit of money off. I'm going to go for Trent Alexander-Arnold. I would just keep an eye on the fitness. I know he did come off the end of the game on Sunday, so just make sure he's not carrying any like lingering knocks from that. But yeah, otherwise I would be on Van Dijk as well. But I think I said about low ceilings for defenders. He probably has the highest one. He contributes a lot of assists, takes the free kicks. So Alexander-Arnold for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree with Alexander-Arnold pick if it's longer term, like more than this game week. But this particular game week, I think Robertson are gonna do bits with Odoi, and I think he's gonna get at least one assist this game week.
But he might be a little fatigued. I don't know. It was a rough game yesterday, so he might not be the most fit guy for this game at least. But it's Robertson. It rarely looks tired. So
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah.
And
Scottish, he just manages to just pull it out.
Yeah.
He
just go home, play some bagpipe, eat some haggis, and then he's ready again.
Exactly.
Also, Alexander-Arnold was a little bit of a doubt in before the Bayern game, and last time this happened, then he got like injured after being a doubt and then playing the whole game. So I'm a little bit like put off by that, but I already own him. But for the free hit, I think it's wise to spend a little bit of cash in that defense probably. And midfielder. So I think we might have a four of a kind here as well. It's gonna be Mané for me. It's amazing that he's classed as a midfielder for FPL when he's so high up. He plays forward sometimes or like a high wing player, and I think Mo Salah right now plays a little bit wider, a little bit deeper. And when he plays up front, he doesn't perform basically. So I'm gonna go Mané and Sam.
Yeah, again, he's the objectively best choice for me. He's in great form. He's scoring goals. You can't look away from him. He's still a crazy price, really. Like given the form he's in, he's outperforming Salah massively. I would say don't sleep on Hazard, but Mane's the guy.
Yeah. Who's up next? Yogi?
Oh, it's me. Well, I'm gonna go for Mané as well.
Yeah.
It's dull, but I'm gonna go for just you can't ignore what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
He's insane at the moment.
Yeah. The only like counter argument against Mané is that he's worse away, maybe.
I saw that yesterday. He was worse away. He was terrible.
He scored 2 goals in Germany, so
Premier League at least, but yeah. He's such a beast right now, so maybe that doesn't apply anymore. So Mitch,
I'm gonna slide in with someone slightly different.
Tillemans.
Completely no, not quite. Well, like Tillemans definitely deserves a shout out, but I think that I want to back up David Brooks this game. I think that he has the creativity, that creative spark in midfield. And against a team like Newcastle that play 9-man in defence, there aren't going to be many midfielders to counter his creativity because they're all going to be in the the goalkeeper's yard box. I can't remember the amount of yards. You have to forgive me. And although I think Mane is just sensational right now. For me, actually, David Brooks is a cheeky little insert.
Yeah, what I like when you said that, I always like when it's guys that aren't highly considered. People, of course, he's considered, but not like Fraser, because Fraser had one good game, and it's like people are thinking of it a little bit too much from the last game sometimes. And yeah, my prediction of that game that they are going to play, of course, Newcastle are going to play very deep, which doesn't give Fraser a lot of space. And meanwhile, Brooks feels like the player who doesn't need a lot of space because people are not expecting him to just be as good as he is. He doesn't need a lot of space, and then he just boom in the corner or something. So I like that pick.
Yeah. Aubameyang just scored.
Wow.
1-0.
Okay. Good. We have we have the forwards left and the captains. So Mitch, you want to go with the forward first?
For me, I'm going to bring it back to my home team, and I'm actually going to back Arnie for this game. I hope there has been talk in the media that he's been frustrated about sitting on the bench, but then explanations have come out explaining why. Pellegrini came out, and Yogi, I see that you also read the same thing that I did, saying that there have been 3 issues, the China thing, and then there was something else as well that I can't remember, and then obviously he was ill.
He didn't work for about 1 week, so he didn't do anything.
Yeah, so it's the China thing, then the work rate after the whole China ordeal, despite him signing a contract, and then he was also sick as well. I'm sure. I don't know about you, Sam, but yeah, but there is a cold going around the UK at the moment. But he did say that Pellegrini did say that he's ready to be back up top. So, and I'm backing him, maybe even backing him with the armband. But,
cool. Yogi, who do you have?
Vardy.
Yes. Okay.
Nothing more exciting than Vardy.
Interesting. This might be totally different from everyone's thinking the same about some positions. I'm gonna go with Wilson. I just feel, as Sam said, I have a hard time seeing him not scoring. Sometimes, even though it's a cheap player, you just have this feeling, like secure feeling, like something's gonna happen. And he's playing at home. That's always nice. So I'm gonna go Wilson here. Sam, who have you gone for?
Yeah, I was on a toss-up anyway, and it was between Vardy and Wilson. I think if you had to choose one, I'd choose Callum Wilson. He's had a lot of time out. He's obviously frustrated. It's a shame for him because he's having probably his best season, and he's always had injury troubles. He's finally back. Had a good game last week, home to Newcastle. I think he's going to love it. Like, he's going to get so much play. He's going to be linking stuff up. He's going to be bringing those wide players in, playing off Josh King. Callum Wilson for me.
I think both Wilson and Vardy are these guys who don't need many chances to score. So it's basically a question of who do you fancy, like team-wise and the fixture-wise. And so I think I'm leaning towards Bournemouth since they're at home. But both are very good picks, of course. So captaincy, I'm just gonna say Mane. It's the best, one of the very best fixtures of the season, even though they are away. And yeah, it could of course be a total smash. Sam said, you almost expect like a 3 goal at least against Fulham. Even Chelsea scored 2 and they should have scored more. So without any problems, and they aren't even in good attacking form. So yeah, just looks like it's going to be a smash and a lot of goals from the attacking players. Sam, do you have anyone else, or is it on Mane?
Yeah, I'm on Mane. I can't even think where I would go. Well, I would go to Salah if I didn't go to Mane, but I think it's definitely Mane. Yeah, nothing not more complicated than that.
Yeah. Okay, Yogi.
Mane.
That
simple.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet.
Mitch.
I'm going for a differential. I'm probably gonna put the armband on Arnautovic this week.
Oh,
I want to see that.
It's gonna be the reminisce of Pogba, the Pogba where he got the 2 goals. Arnie's gonna get 2 goals and an assist though this game week.
So we could also we discussed everything. One last segment. If we have something, it's a little bit tougher, but if we have something like, is there a player who's being overhyped and who you shouldn't trust or shouldn't bring in maybe? So we discussed Higuain, for example, but that's just on the top of my head. So maybe we have a little bit better picks. Do you have anyone, Mitch?
I hate to say this because I have him and I've stuck faith in him, even though he hasn't done anything really other than a measly fucking assist. But Salah for me, he's been really disappointing. If you're free hitting and you don't have him, get Mane and Firmino in instead, and then spend it elsewhere. Get Hazard, maybe buff up your defence. Get Robertson. I've gone against double Liverpool, but you could get Robertson and Van Dijk for that as well.
Yeah, I like that shout. Yogi?
Salah. I've said it so many times, and I can't even start because I'm so frustrated looking at Twitter and whatever on people bringing out whatever fucking stats. Sorry, the language, but how many stats do we need to look at before we realize that stats are stats and goals are goals?
Yep.
Sam, do you have another opinion?
Unfortunately, the two. I would call out Higuain, who's in my team, and I'm going to call out someone else who's also in my team, and I'm going to call out Felipe Anderson. I think the fixture's going to trap a lot of people. I don't think West Ham are going to score a lot of goals. I think it'll be 1 or 2-0. I think he'll start, but I wouldn't even be 100% confident of that. I'm obviously not going to take him out because it's a good game and I'm not free hitting. But if I was free hitting, I think, like you say, if you avoid Salah, you can load up with people like Mane, Hazard, maybe your Madisons, a couple of other heavy hitting midfielders, and just not worry about the absolute fraud doing you again.
Yeah. So I haven't actually come up with a concrete one. So, but I like the Salah shout here as well. Obviously underperforming quite. I mean, he's playing like a maybe 8 or 9 mil player for FPL at the most. He's
like that.
He looks like
he plays like a 5. Brooks plays better than him right now. Okay, he plays good, but he doesn't give back whatever. He plays like fucking Madison. He creates stuff, but he doesn't produce back. And Madison is worth what, 7, 6, 7.6.
So, and I also like the Higuain pick as well, as I mentioned, because I think he's gonna have, if he plays, I think he's gonna have a hard time dealing with Keane, and there's going to be like a big one next to him. I think Soma is not going to play against Chelsea. He's on loan, but they're going to find someone else who's really strong. I think it's Jeremina might play then, who has very bad and very good games. So anything could happen, but I think Higuain might have a problem with his physique against this defense. So that was it, and we're gonna say good luck to the viewers and good luck to ourselves, and thanks for joining. Peace.
Good luck, guys. Take care,
Bye, guys. Take care. Good luck.
Ciao.